in tight, can you see it? Streaming the truth live from where they decree it. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness stands tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Faces tell.
Hey everybody. Hello guys. Welcome to the infamous channel. This morning we're gonna start diving into the Tanaia Harris case because they have a hearing set for June 20th, which I plan on being there, and also they have a visual that is coming up on April 26th. So we're going to do a deep, not a deep dive, but get some info on this case. This is a triggering type of case because some things that are unthinkable that has allegedly happened to this child. It has been said that from the evidence that they have found that she is no longer here, and we're wanting justice for this baby. And a lot of people going to be triggered because I know this is one of those type of cases that it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. It's one of those type of cases you have to stay prayed up and anoint yourself with oil. Plead the blood of Jesus on your body because it's very dark. It's very, because we're supposed to take care of the little children, you know. And so I'm asking God to help us to find understanding, get knowledge, wisdom through this. And yeah, I saw the song that his name is not Blue Cheese, it's another name he has. But I did see it as a song that he did for her. Um, is it Blue Cheese? I thought it was something, another name. But anyway, I know I know I seem very little bit of can you text that to me, Lady Coltrane? Can you text that to me? Oh, she did text it to me. Okay, it's a trigger warning I'm gonna put into my banner. So when we are looking at this video, I gotta create this banner here. Hold on a second. Just bear with me a second, y'all. I had to do this trigger banner. Trigger warning. This video contains content related to sexual abuse, which may be distressing and triggering for some viewer. Viewers' discretion is advised. Okay, y'all. Also, it has to do with a child. All right, we're going to start with day 1 of the free trial for Jarvis Ramon Butts. Pre-trial occurred earlier last year, but he officially became indicted in January 7th of this year. January 9th or January 7th? I'll change it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with this. This is something that's not like very comfortable for me. So please bear with me with this. Hold on a second. Let me just let me remove this message. Hold on a second, y'all. Just bear with me. I'm gonna change that one. I gotta delete this one. Let me go get the next one. Hold on. All right, let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh. All right, here we go. This is the first day of the hearing. I do not own the rights of the video that's being ready to be played. This is for educational news reporting purposes based on the copyright disclaimer of 1976. Fair use. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me just give you a little bit of history. Mr. Jarvis Butts is being charged with is his charges. Hold on a second. His charge is hold on, let me remove this one. Hold on. Let me remove this one. That's not the one I want to show you. I want to show you something else. Okay, this is what he's being charged with right now. Homicide, murder, first degree premeditated, child sexual abuse, commercial activity, sexual conduct, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, and criminal sexual conduct, second degree offense. So that's what he's being charged with. And this is as of January 9th, 2025. And it's an active felony case and an active open. And the judge is Judge Nicholas Hathaway of the Criminal Division, Third Circuit Court of Wayne County in the state of Michigan. So that is what he's being charged with. Right now, remember, he is considered, in this case, he is considered, I copied it. It's not spelled wrong. I was copying and pasted, and I left the T off. Hold on, let me go correct it right now. Thank you for the catch. I left the T off because I was copying her thing. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, thank you. Thank you, Renette, for catching that. Appreciate it. There we go. It was a error on my part. I didn't copy it all the way. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead on and pull this up. I did show you guys what he is being charged with. And remember, in this particular case, he is innocent until proven guilty. And what we're doing is just showing what has happened in the courts. All right, here we go.
I appreciate the security and I understand the need for it. I also they don't know when I use the laptop. I can't. I connect to the internet. Use the internet.
All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fast forward it from this part here because they're standing around just talking. Okay.
Can't open videos. I can't.
Mr. Riggins or someone from the defense counsel, can I have you all approach? You can have a seat in the house.
All right, look at him. Look at him sitting back there. They're saying that he has on a mask because his lip was busted and some things happened to him while he was in jail. He's looking down. He's not looking at anybody.
Okay, so the brief sidebar I had with Mr. McKees and Mr. Riggins regarding Officer Wolf, I just want to put on the record that Officer Wolf is an employee at 36th District Court. I do not have a personal relationship with him, only a working relationship in which he comes to the courtroom in 234 to do his job as a court officer. I want to make sure for the people in defense there's no objection to me hearing his testimony today.
No objection.
Okay, I'll swear you in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, you can begin.
Can you state your name for the record, sir?
Derek Wolf.
And what do you do for a living currently?
I work at 36th District Court as a court officer.
And how long have you worked at 36th District Court?
2 months.
And prior to that, where did you work at?
Detroit Public School Police Department.
And how long did you in total work for the Detroit Public Schools?
17 and a half years.
You worked for DPS for 17 and a half years.
Yes,
And how long have you been in law enforcement in total?
39 years.
Before DPS, who did you work for?
I retired from Detroit Police Department.
And what were some of your common roles and responsibilities at the Detroit Public Schools Police Department?
We go to the school. Sometimes we talk to the kids. We take care of the building, take care of the principals, we take care of the family, and make sure everybody's about the law.
And in January of 2024, what was your assignment at the DPS Police Department?
I was assigned to investigations.
And as part of that assignment, does that include going out and taking reports from people who are making police reports to the school police department?
Yes,
I want to direct your attention to January 10th, 2024. Did you go to J.E. Clark School in Detroit?
yes.
And what was the reason you went there, sir?
I got sent there by my lieutenant about a missing 13-year-old young lady from the school.
And when you went there, did you speak with someone who was making that report?
Yes,
Who was that person?
I talked to her guardian, her grandmother, which is her guardian.
And is that Annette Harris?
Yes.
And in terms of taking that report, what's that process like? I don't want to go into what anybody said to you, but what information are you looking for to gather to put into your report?
Okay. Someone asked, is he allowed to wear a mask in court? Yes, he is allowed to wear a mask. Everyone's allowed to, because since the COVID situation, you are allowed to wear a mask if you want to wear it in court. Because there are some people who still very conscious, especially if somebody has a cold or whatever. But I was told he has a mask on because of something that occurred in the jail, and they didn't want to show his face being messed up.
Okay, I'm making a missing report. So I asked Ms. Harris, when's the last time you seen her daughter? Her granddaughter. The description of what she had on. Has she ever been missing before? Does she have a boyfriend? Or she have friends she might go by the house and stay? Things of that sort.
And did you ask Ms. Harris all of those questions and get her answers?
Yes,
And then did you write an actual report?
yes.
After you write that report, do you have any role in actually investigating to attempting to locate the missing person?
Yes.
Okay, what did you do after writing the report?
After I did the report, I canvassed the area looking for this young lady, although she was gone for at least 24 hours because she was missing the day before. And then from that point, we didn't find anything. So I found out the bus number that she was on. I got the video, and it showed where she got off the bus at Cornwell and 3 Mile.
Said Cornwell and 3 Mile?
Cornwell and 3 Mile.
Okay.
And from that point, like I said, we went to the house, talked to the guardian again, talked to some of the people in the house, and then we went on in and let it go from there.
Sorry, just to be clear, you keep on saying we. Are you doing these things with a partner?
Yes,
And who is that partner?
Dale Gardner.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Approaching what's already been admitted as People's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes.
And what is that is contained in Exhibit 2?
A school bus.
And is that a still shot from the video that you pulled or that you received?
Yes.
And that's the bus that you identified that Tanaia Harris was on?
Yes.
Oh. May I have one moment, Judge?
Yes.
I have another turn.
Okay, cross.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Mr. Wolf, you were dispatched to the J. Clark School because you're an investigator for DPS.
I was not dispatched. The lieutenant came to the office and told us to go by the school for the missing.
Okay, so you were requested, your presence was requested at the school.
Yeah, from my lieutenant.
You don't have an office within the school,
No,
so you're not like the school resource officer per se.
no,
And you said you met with Ms. Annette Harris on the 10th
yes,
and that's in January of 2024.
January. Yes.
But that was early in the morning.
Around,
Okay, I have a question. Okay. The resource officer, he was not the resource officer at the school. Why didn't the grandmother, go straight to the police department from the beginning? Why did she go to the resource officer at the school instead of going straight to the Detroit Police Department?
between 11 and 12.
So school was in session at that time.
Yes,
Did you speak with the teacher who was in Nazia's classroom on the 9th of January?
no,
Did you speak with any of Nazia's known friends?
in the investigation, yes.
You did. Who did you speak to?
I can't recall that.
Did you write them in a report?
No, not in this report.
Okay, so you spoke with folks, but you didn't record their names?
I recorded it probably on my run sheet, but not inside the missing report.
What?
And you didn't take statements from anybody,
No, not a 10.
What?
ever?
No,
What?
Did you speak with anybody else at the school about Nazia, either on the 10th or any time after that?
only other chance I talked to the guardian, which is the grandmother, and a couple of students.
A couple.
Yes,
Do you know how many?
a couple too.
2. Okay, just want to make sure we have the same definition of a couple. And you said you canvassed the area?
Yes,
What area did you canvass?
the 3 Mile area, we were all around there, checking down.
Whoa, 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 hold
See if we
on,
can get
hold
some,
on,
video
hold on,
board
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Jenny says she was still receiving checks up to June 2024. I guess because they didn't officially says she's not coming back. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. All right.
Camera footage,
Is
things
that
like that.
3 Mile, is that 3 Mile Drive?
3 Mile in Cornwall, that area.
Okay, and that's where the bus stop was?
Yes,
Where Nazia would have gotten off the bus?
yes.
Anywhere else around the school?
We checked around the schools. We checked on, matter of fact, on her street as well. We didn't find anything.
In her classroom, does she have a locker or a cubby or anything where she stores items?
I can answer that question.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Fair to say then that you didn't check?
I may have, but I can't recall.
Wait a minute, y'all. This is some sloppy work here. So far, it's not giving me good police work.
Right now, because it's been such a long time.
Is there a report that documents whether you did or not?
No.
Okay. And after you did the canvass of the area of 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall, what else did you do?
I went back to the station, advised the lieutenant of what we came up with,
Which was what?
which was I talked to the parent, the grandparent, talked to a couple of students. We didn't find anything from doing our search of the area.
So did you do anything else in regards to investigating?
No, I did not, because I was getting ready to retire, so I was done.
Oh,
Okay.
he said he was about to retire. So basically, F this.
Very briefly, Judge. How long, you were first notified about this on the 10th, correct?
Yes,
And how long did you stay involved in the investigation?
that day.
This is
So
crazy.
you're activities that Ms. Quick asked you about contained all happened on the 10th of January?
Yes.
Wow, y'all. This is crazy. They didn't think this child's missing, not being around was important for him to do. He was about to retire. He didn't care. They don't have names of people that they interviewed. They don't have, oh my God, this is so sad. This is so sad.
What happened to the investigation after the 10th?
If someone else's investigation would have took over, besides me, because once again, I was leaving. But I gave all the information that I had along with my run sheet as well. So
It was
For
passed
that
off to another investigator?
yeah, it would be, yeah.
Okay. And then are you aware of what happened after that?
No,
And you said
No, neither did he
that
care.
on the 10th, your lieutenant came in and asked you to go to J.E. Clark.
yes.
And who is your lieutenant?
At the time it was George Harris.
Okay.
But why would they ask somebody who's retiring, who don't give a crap about what's going on? Why would they ask him to go and check do the checking of this case? Why would they ask somebody who checked out from his job a long time ago because he's retiring? Got to do better, police officer and law enforcement. Do better. Do some work.
I know you've heard of it.
I just clarification. You said you were leaving. Are you mean leaving DPS or leaving
Yeah,
the day?
retiring.
Thank you.
See how the judge
Question based off
started
my
to
question.
ask that question
Okay.
too?
You were all done.
They don't care.
And who is responsible would call forensic tech Margaret Lavala.
They did not care about that child, y'all. One thing, this case is going to expose a lot of stuff that these people doing in these city workers, man. Some of these city workers don't care. Law enforcement.
Raise your right hand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Watch your step on the stairs.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Ms. Wilson.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Margaret Lavala.
And where are you employed?
Currently, I'm employed with the Macomb County Medical Examiner's Office
And when did you start there?
in July of 2024.
And before starting there, where did you work?
I worked with the Detroit Police Department as a forensic technician.
Okay. And how long had you had that job?
I was there for about 6 years.
And what, as a forensic technician, what are your roles and responsibilities?
We would respond to scenes in the city of Detroit. We would take photos, collect evidence, search for evidence, and then compile a report based on our findings.
And I want to take you back to March 14th of 2024. Were you working with Detroit Police as a forensic tech at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you working alone or with a partner?
That day I was working alone.
And I want to take you to the area of 7 Mile and Berg, in the city of Detroit.
Yes, ma'am.
And were you dispatched to that location on March 14th, 2024?
Yes, it was.
And what is it that you did at that location?
At that location, there was a wooded area just south of 7 Mile to the west of Berg. and we searched that wooded area for evidence related to a potential missing person.
And what is it that you did when you searched?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What is it that you do when you search an area?
We will canvass the area in an ordered fashion, myself along with the other officers that are on scene. We are looking for things that are out of the ordinary or might suggest that something had taken place at that location.
And did you know what you were looking for at that location?
We were looking for clothing and shoes.
And did you take any photos?
I did.
And did you collect any evidence?
I did.
And I want to show you, may I go to look proposed exhibit 14?
Yes.
Showing you it's Market People's proposed exhibit 14, it's a PowerPoint. Could you tell me, do you recall going to this area?
Yes, ma'am.
And do these photos, there are 129 of them, do they fairly and accurately depict the scene of 7 Mile and Berg as you saw it that day, back on March 14th of 2024?
Yes, we do. That's your recollection.
And Your Honor, I move for the admission of People's proposed exhibit 14.
No objection. Okay, they'll be admitted.
Thank you. Did you end up finding any evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
What evidence did you find?
We collected a pink jumpsuit, bodysuit style, and then a black hoodie that had a pair of white headphones in one of the pockets, some gloves, a towel, and a pair of red, black, and white gym shoes.
And Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Since you have to allow me.
Okay, try now.
And what, so this is in People's Exhibit 14. This is going to be photo 2. What is it that we have here?
So this is the photo card that we would take at the beginning of processing any crime scene. It includes the date, the time, the location that we're responding to, as well as who is the current officer in charge that ordered us out to that location, the crime or suspected crime that we're investigating, as well as my name, the code that I'm working, and the report number that is assigned to that case.
Now I'm going to not go through all 129 photos here. I'm going to show you some that I want to reference. This is for record purposes, photo 30. What do we see here in photo 30?
We are looking west down, so that fence on the left of the photograph is the fence for an abandoned building at the south end of a parking lot on the west side of Berg. We are looking west towards the Rouge River into that wooded area. You can see what is that pink jumpsuit in the background of the photograph.
And in 33, what do we see here?
That is one of the black, red, and white gym shoes that we collected from the wooded area that I had previously stated.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that that's a left foot shoe?
Yes.
And in picture 35, what do we have here?
That was a photograph of the inside of the shoe, of the size tag.
And in 37, what do we see here?
Again, we are still looking in that wooded area. That is the black jacket that was collected. It is towards the front of the photograph, kind of behind that tree branch.
And in 42,
that was a close-up of the black hooded jacket that we recovered.
okay. And would it be fair to say that you opened up the jacket, or is this how you saw it?
We did open up the jacket to examine it, yes.
And in 45, What's in 45?
So that is looking in one of the pockets of the jacket.
And can you see what's inside the pocket at that point or no?
That photograph, I believe there's a paper and might be the pair of headphones.
Okay. And in 47,
Yes.
what are we looking at there?
So yes, that is the paper and the pair of headphones that was recovered from that pocket.
In 50,
So that's going to be the hood of that hooded jacket. We noted that there are several holes in the jacket of unknown origin.
Several holes in the jacket.
yeah, in 52, what do we see here?
Again, we are looking into the wooded area. You can see that pink jumpsuit that is stuck in the branches of those trees.
A pink jumpsuit. So you think the body's
In
been like
63,
Again, a closer shot of that pink jumpsuit.
a jumpsuit that was taken off her?
in 78, what do we see here?
That is the right foot of the red, black, and white shoe that was recovered that was located in the trees near that jumpsuit.
Okay, and is that fair to say the right foot?
Yes.
And 79, what do we have here?
That is a photo of the inside tag of that shoe to show its size.
And in 88,
That is the pink jumpsuit that we recovered.
and 89,
That's a photo of the size and the label of that jacket. That jacket jumpsuit.
and in 120.
That is a photo of the Rouge River.
Okay.
Those are coming in
So
here.
how close was the Rouge River, I guess, to the area that you were?
Okay, guys, those are coming in. We're basically doing a recap of what happened back in January when the judge was trying to decide whether or not to move forward with the indictment of this case. They have to see if there's enough cause for them to move forward with the indictment. So I did not get a chance to see any of this. This is the first time I'm seeing this. And there are people who have been giving me, sharing information with me because they wanted me to, cover this case. And so that's what we're doing. A lot of you guys have seen this and you guys know a lot about this case. I don't. I know some things, but not everything. I've been trying to do catch up and find out more and more about this case. I'm trying to stick with the facts and not any kind of rumors or anything like that. Because when I went into TikTok, I saw a lot of stuff that I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. And so I'm trying to gather documents, get some information directly so I can educate myself on this case and not go by rumors and things like that. So I did contact, I did put in a FOIA request for arrest report and all that kind of stuff. So I will be reviewing that once I get that information back, and I will be sharing with you guys as well. All right. So just bear with me. I'm trying to absorb as much as I can on this case so I can get a full understanding and be able to report in a factual matter, not emotion and not any kind of rumors. Okay. All right. And if I stop in between, that's because I'm trying to learn some things. I'm trying to understand, rewind something just to make sure I have clarity of what was going on. Okay. So thank you for all those who are putting statements in there, who knows more about this case than I do. So I'm just learning and be able to give you guys some factual information. Okay, thank you.
We're searching.
So there was a large parking lot just off of the west side of Berg, and then there was an embankment leading down to the river. I would say less than 500 feet.
What condition was the evidence that we just saw in the photos? What was the condition of it?
It was wet. It was dirty. It was currently raining when we were out at that scene. So,
What did you do with the evidence once you photographed it?
Once it was photographed, we collected it, or I collected it and took it from the scene. The items that were wet, we then brought to the Detroit Police Department evidence garage, where we have a drying chamber so that that evidence could be dried in a safe, secure, and way so that any type of DNA evidence could be preserved. And then once that evidence was then dried, it was packaged and processed and submitted to the DPD property unit.
And you would have been the one who placed those items in the drying chamber?
Yes,
And are you also the one who placed them on evidence afterwards?
yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Ross?
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I believe you said that it was raining on the day that you were dispatched out to this location at the site.
That is correct.
Had it been raining most of the morning?
To the best of my recollection.
When you were dispatched out by somebody at DPD,
That is correct.
when you arrived at the site, were there already people on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people would you say?
Approximately 10.
And were they all Detroit police officers, or were there other people there as well?
Everyone that I spoke with was with the Detroit Police Department.
Could you say for certain that everybody there was DPD?
No.
You were notified prior to leaving, or when you got there maybe, what evidence or what items you were actually looking for?
They told us we were looking for clothing.
Were you under the impression that somebody had seen something and wanted you to come out and photograph it and tag it?
Yes,
Okay. So you weren't the first person out there to see it.
that is correct.
Do you know who originally had seen the items?
I do not.
So you didn't speak with anybody about where they initially located them?
I spoke with the officers that were at that scene, that called me out to that scene, and they directed me to where that evidence had been located.
But you can't say for sure where the items were located before you had gotten there, fair to say?
Correct.
Did you see anybody else handle those items?
No,
But again, you couldn't say for sure that nobody did.
I can't say what happened before my arrival on the scene.
One of the items was a black hoodie, right?
That is correct.
Fair to say that it appeared pretty weathered.
Yes,
I think the report notes that there's like spider webs on it,
yes,
some detritus leaves, that kind of thing.
yes,
There was also a pink bodysuit.
that is correct.
Now that was not on the ground, correct?
No,
That was in some branches a distance away.
that is correct.
About how far away were those two items from one another?
Not that far, but I couldn't give an estimate right now of distance.
Okay, yeah, I don't want you to guess. Fair to say that the jumpsuit didn't necessarily appear similarly weathered to the hoodie?
No, it did not.
It did have some like dirt or stains on it,
It did, yes.
but it wasn't quite as weathered, I guess, same word I could use.
I would say so, yes.
So you collected the items.
Mhm.
When you did so, did you wear disposable gloves?
I did,
Did you wear a new pair of gloves for each item that you collected?
I did.
And each item went into a separate bag.
That is correct.
It's got its own tag,
Yes,
and then you yourself drove them to this evidence garage.
yes.
Now this evidence garage, where is it at?
It's located at 11631 Mount Elliott in the city of Detroit.
And you yourself checked them in at the garage.
Yes.
What is the process for that?
So it is placed on in our evidence tracker system, and there is a label in there to say that it is at the garage for drying. So it was noted that that was where it was going to be. The drying chamber is in a locked room, and then the chamber itself is also locked. So the key was acquired from my sergeant, my supervisor, to get into that room. The items were then hung up in a way that they were not touching each other. They did not come into contact with each other during the drying process. Then this chamber was locked back up. The door to the room was locked, and the key was returned to my supervisor. Then after 24 hours, then I returned to then collect that evidence where it was all packaged individually in their own bag, and then that was then taped, secured, and turned over to property.
And you did all that yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you took each of the items out of their respective bags, again, did you wear disposable gloves?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you change those gloves every time you handled a different piece of evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
And then when you recollected them, you put them in fresh bags?
Yes.
And you, again, used disposable gloves?
Yes.
And did you use different ones every time you
Yes.
handled each item?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't have anything else, thank you.
Briefly. Ms. Lavalla, when you placed these items on evidence, are they each given like a specific evidence tag number?
Yes,
Okay, and could we just go through those really quickly? Do you have a report?
I do.
Okay, if you need to refresh your memory at all, please let me know. And if you want to refer to your report to refresh your memory, just let us know, okay? So for the red, black, and white Nike gym shoes, those were placed in evidence.
Yes.
And do you recall what tag number they were?
Can I refresh?
If that would refresh your memory, yes.
So those were item 84.
Okay, and that black hoodie, that was also placed in evidence?
Sorry, I don't know if I check again to refresh.
Yes.
So the black hoodie was item 85.
And what about that pink bodysuit?
That was going to be item 86.
Okay. And the headphones and paper, did you package those separately or together?
Can I refresh my report? Look at my report.
If that would refresh your memory.
So the headphones and paper were packaged together because they came from the same pocket under item 88.
88? Okay. And there were a couple other items that you also placed in evidence.
That is correct.
Okay. What were the other items?
There was a pair of gloves that was recovered from the wooded area as well, and a brown, blue, gray towel. It was a dirty towel, a dirty wet towel from near the parking lot.
Okay. And did you place that towel on evidence?
Yes.
What number did you place that on?
May I refresh?
Yes.
So the towel was 82.
Okay. And what about those gloves you were talking about?
The gloves were 83.
Was there any other items?
There was like a Ziploc bag that was recovered from the other jacket pocket that was placed under item 89.
And anything else?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. Was there any kind of rubber bracelet?
Oh, sorry. Yes, there was a rubber bracelet that was recovered from that wooded area as well.
Okay. And was that on evidence also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was that placed on?
May I refresh?
If it would refresh your memory, yes.
Thank you. That was item number 87.
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay, you all done testifying. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next witness.
At this time, people would call Tanaia Moore.
Really? Deanna, where you getting this information? Deanna, email me. Email me, Deanna. Email me. Gianni, I'm sorry. Gianni. Email me.
Step this way, raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Watch your step.
Speak into the mic here. Pick it up and hold it loud if you like.
Mayor, thank you. Could you state your name for the record?
Tanaia Moore.
And, excuse me, Ms. Moore, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, but first I wanna ask you, do you know someone by the name of Cordell Wright?
I do.
And how do you know Mr. Wright?
He is the father of my nephew, my 17-year-old nephew.
So, your sister's son,
Yes,
and is that how you met Mr. Wright?
Yeah.
Or your sister?
yes.
Okay. And in what context is your relationship with Mr. Wright? How did you know him? Did he ever do anything for you? Things like that.
He fixed my mother's car. He worked on her car.
Okay. And what kind of car does your mother drive?
A red Jaguar.
And what's your mom's name?
Jacqueline Campbell.
And going back to January of 2024, where were you living at the time? Not your specific address, just the city.
Ypsilanti.
And who else lived with you in Ypsilanti?
My mom and my son.
And would Mr. Wright ever come out to Ypsilanti to fix your mom's car, her Jaguar?
Yes,
How often did he do that?
like a couple times, at least 2 times.
And was that around January of 2024?
That was the last time.
In January was the
Yes.
last time? And when he would go out there, would he bring anyone with him?
This last time he did.
What about
For the
prior?
last 2 times. So before January 9th, him and someone else came, and then on January 9th, they both came.
Okay. And the person that he brought with him, do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing he's wearing?
Well, I can only see the top of his head right now.
Are you 100% sure that it's that person? Could we have everyone remove their masks, Judge, just for a brief moment?
If everyone in the courtroom could remove their mask if they have one on, please.
Ms. Moore, do you see the person that Mr. Wright brought with him?
I do.
And could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing he's wearing?
A green one
I wonder
piece.
why
green.
For the record, the witness
camera
identified
person didn't
Jarvis
show it.
Butts, the defendant in this matter.
So reflected.
Thank you.
I wonder why the camera person didn't show it.
And you said Mr. Butts came out how many times with Cordell?
At least 2. So this last time in January and the time before that.
Okay, and the time before that, who was anyone else with the two of them?
No,
And what were they doing the time before January 9th?
working on the car. We I can't remember. It was a couple of things they had to fix on it, and they came out and did it in the driveway. And
Sorry.
no. I was just gonna say the last time when we got the car towed to the shop and they drove it back up.
Okay. And so in between the most recent time before January 9th, the Jaguar, correct me if I'm wrong, was towed to Detroit?
Correct.
And then on January 9th, did you see that red Jaguar again?
Yeah.
Okay, who brought that Jaguar out to Ypsilanti?
Cordell and Jarvis.
Okay, and was anyone else with Cordell and Jarvis?
Yes.
Who is that person?
Naziah.
And I want to clarify, at the time on the 9th, when Cordell, Jarvis, and Naziah came, did you know that that was Naziah Harris?
No,
Do you know that now?
I do know now.
Okay. And is that based on information you learned or seen in the news and things like that?
Well, it was based on when the detectives came to the house to question us. That's when I found out who she was.
But at the time on the 9th, you didn't know?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no?
No, yes or no, I did not know.
Now, let's talk about when they came out on the 9th, January 2024. What was that interaction? How long did it last? Can you kind of take me through start to finish their visit and delivering the car?
So they came, they delivered the car. They were talking to my mom about what was wrong, gave her the invoice. It was just like a regular day when they came in, they sat on the couch for a few minutes. Naziah was sitting in the chair by the TV. We spoke.
She didn't find it
Very,
strange that your little girl was with them.
Asked her if she wanted something to drink. She didn't. My 6-year-old son ran up to her, the dog. It was just very mellow. They sat there, we talked about the car and stuff. We talked about my nephew. Cordell was trying to wait till my nephew got out of school, but because he was on tether, they had to leave. So they didn't get to stay long enough for my nephew to come.
And your nephew would be Cordell's son.
Cordell's son, correct.
Did you talk to Mr. Butts about Nasiah? Did he introduce her or anything like that?
We just asked, you know, hey, you know, everybody spoke. He said this is his niece, and that was pretty much the basis of it. I cannot remember if he said her name or not, but he did introduce her as his niece.
How do you
And
not?
so, just to be clear, not sure about the name, but he said this is his niece about Nasiah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
That's a yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then after that conversation, well, let me ask you, during that time when they were there, did you notice anything that was unsettling or concerning about Nasiah?
No.
It was just a normal interaction?
Yes.
After that interaction was over, did the three of them, Cordell, Jarvis, and Nasiah, leave your house?
Yes.
Okay, and as far as you know, they were headed back to Detroit, correct?
Correct.
So do you think he did not say her name when he introduced her to her? Or did she just forget that that was her name?
When they left, whose car were they leaving in?
Cordell's truck.
And all three of them were in the same car?
Yes.
And you said that they were delivering the Jaguar to your mom or to your house, correct?
Yes.
Did you see them pull up? Do you know what the driving and seating arrangements was?
I do not.
I have nothing further, Christine.
Okay, Ross?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you're technically not related to Cordell, right?
Correct.
That's just the uncle of, I'm sorry, he is the
The
father
father.
of your nephew. Okay. How would you say your relationship is with Mr. Wright?
It's cool, like, no issues.
You got along with him well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
And you know Cordell worked as a mechanic?
correct.
Okay. And how long has he worked on your vehicles? Was this something new, or had he worked on your vehicles previously?
I think he might have changed the oil on one of my cars a couple years back, but not that frequently.
Okay. And you knew he had did you know he had a shop that he worked out of?
Yes,
Okay. Had you been to this shop?
yes,
Okay. And you said that there was a time prior to January 9th that he came up and worked on the car, correct?
correct.
And you said that my client was with him that time.
Correct.
Do you recall when that was?
It had to be in the summer. I cannot recall the exact date.
But it was summer of 2023?
Yes,
Okay. And that was the first time you had seen Jarvis Butts?
yes,
Did you say anything to him that day?
yes,
The
we
first
talked,
time?
yes. We talked about me being a member of Zeta and that he had a cousin or somebody that was a Zeta. We all went to O'Reilly's to get some parts or something for the car.
Okay.
Stopped and got something to eat, came back, but it was very mellow, like,
So that summer of 2023, you had a fairly decent conversation with him, correct?
correct,
And it lasted for a period of time, correct?
correct,
So on January 9th, when you saw him, you knew who he was.
correct,
You had recognized him because you had spent time with him, correct?
correct,
Okay. So you had the car, and you knew that he was partnered with Cordell at the shop, correct?
correct.
Okay. So on January 9th, approximately when did you have the car towed down to his shop?
I think we had it towed maybe like the 4th or the 5th.
So it was there from the 4th, okay? And it was the 9th that they brought it back?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know approximately what time the car was brought back?
Had to be before 3:30 p.m.
It was three.
Well, no. It had to be before 5:30 because my sister got off work at 5:30. So mid-afternoon.
Okay, but you're not sure the exact time.
I'm not sure the exact time.
Was it light or dark outside?
It was still light out.
Okay. And they came up, they pulled the Jaguar in first, the driveway,
Correct.
right? And then Cordell's car was behind it.
I believe so.
Okay, when they pulled up, did you see them exit the vehicles?
No,
Okay, so you don't know who was driving what?
I don't.
Okay. So at that point, they came into the house, correct?
Correct.
And did they all walk in together? Or
Yes.
Okay, so Cordell came in, followed by Jarvis, correct?
I can't tell you the exact. I don't know if Naziah walked in first or if Jarvis walked in first.
Okay. And this young lady. And to be fair, you didn't know who she was,
Not
correct?
at all.
Do you recall what she was wearing when she came?
I think she had on a jacket. But I can't really.
Don't recall?
No.
Okay. Do you recall what any of them had on that day?
Not really.
Okay. So, do you recall, without going into your house, was it dark, light in your house? Were the lights on?
The lights were on.
Okay. And you have a fairly large living room?
Yeah.
Okay. So when they came in, you said that Naziah sat next to the television.
So yeah, like when you're coming in, there's like a red cabinet type thing. The TV sits on top of it, and then there's a chair right, like a chair sitting right next to it, and that's where she was sitting.
Okay. And when she came in, did she introduce herself?
She did not.
Okay. So she came in, sat down, right?
We offered her to see, like, came in, Cordell said hello. He was doing most of the talking. Jarvis said hello. Said, this is my niece. Then was like, y'all have a seat.
Okay.
Cordell sat on the couch. There's a couch this way, and then a long couch this way.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, I believe that they were both on this couch. Naziah was in the chair, and me and my mom were on the longer couch.
So your mom was there?
Yeah.
Correct? All right. And you all were conversing, correct?
Correct.
And it's fair to say that you weren't conversing with Naziah, correct?
No.
You were conversing with Jarvis. I'm sorry, you were conversing with Cordell.
Cordell and Jarvis about the car and the invoice that they brought.
All right. And you said at some point your son came up and was talking with Naziah?
Correct.
Okay. And how long did this conversation last?
Like all of our conversation?
Right. How long were they there?
Probably between like 30, 45 minutes,
Okay.
maybe an hour.
And while they were there, you didn't notice anything, and I think you already mentioned this, you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
Did you see Jarvis Butts conversing with Naziah Harris?
No.
So they didn't have any conversation?
No.
Okay. And you didn't notice anything awkward or out of the ordinary between the two?
Correct.
Okay.
I didn't notice anything.
So after about an hour, they left?
Correct.
Was it light or dark? At that
It was
point?
still fairly light.
All right. And they got into Cordell's car, correct?
Correct.
You don't remember the scene, I think you've already
No,
said
I
that.
do not.
But was Cordell driving?
Correct.
Okay. So that day you didn't think anything out of the ordinary happened, correct?
Correct.
And at some point, you were contacted, correct?
Correct.
When were you contacted?
Well, we were contacted by Cordell the next day because when we paid the invoice, it was $70 short. So we had to get Jarvis's Cash App to send the rest of the money. So that was the last part of the conversation. And then the detectives came, I want to say the end of March,
So the end of March. So
I believe. I don't know the exact day, but it was at least a month or two later.
and it was when the detectives came, is when you found out that the person that was in your house was Naziah Harris, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did they tell you that this person was Naziah Harris?
They asked me if I knew who she was, and they asked me if I knew who Cordell was. They showed me a picture of Mr. Butts. They asked me if I knew who all these people were, and they asked me if I knew her name, and I did not know her name at that time.
Okay. And they told you her name.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. And at any point, did you look up why they were there or look up any information about this case
Yeah, after they left.
after they left?
Mm,
Okay, and what did you look up?
Objection, relevance.
I just want to see where her information came from.
As long as the results of what she looked up.
I want to see the information that she had that go into her testimony.
Go ahead.
There's obviously there's podcasts out that are a bit unfavorable.
It's not obvious.
Well,
I don't know.
okay, you don't know. Okay.
The judge said she don't be looking at
What did you
YouTube.
I looked up Mr. Butts' Otis record,
Okay.
but I tried to type in his name, I typed in Cordell's name, tried to see if anything came up. At that time, there wasn't anything posted, but I didn't find much, other than his record.
Okay. Just one more. Yeah. No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yeah, very brief. Ms. Moore, Mr. Reagans was just asking you about information that you looked up and things like that. When the police were at your house, though, when the detectives were at your house, first, do you know if those were Detroit police officers?
Yes, Detroit police
Detectives, okay. And you said that they showed you a picture of, in court, you said Naziah, right?
Say it one more time.
They showed you a picture of Naziah at that time, correct?
Correct.
Did you identify that picture when the police were there as Naziah Harris? Did you say her name?
No, I said that's the mechanic's niece.
So just to be clear, you identified her as the girl that was at your house
Correct.
with the defendant, Jarvis Butts.
Correct.
And that was before you had looked up any information.
Correct, because I didn't know anything until the detectives came to the house.
And while Naziah and Jarvis and Cordell were at your house, you said Naziah was sitting next to the TV?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And did Naziah, during that 30 minutes to an hour, ever get up and leave, use the restroom or anything like that?
No.
And you mentioned earlier that Cordell was on a tether and that's the reason he had to leave, right?
Correct.
Do you know what Cordell's tether hours were at that time? Like what time he had to be back home by?
I don't know.
How far of a drive is it from Detroit to Ypsilanti?
Probably about 40 minutes.
And what was the reason that Cordell had to leave again?
Because he said he had to be back in the house for his tether.
Okay, so did it seem like he was in a little bit of a rush to get back, or he was cutting it close maybe with that drive 40 minutes?
No, I think he had whatever he needed to do, and he just wanted to make sure he was in the city on time.
But is it fair to say that he would have left somewhat closer to his cutoff time? If that's the reason he left, or that he said?
Yeah,
I
think that calls for speculation on her part.
I was gonna say, I
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to respond?
If she knows, I think it's a close call.
If you know the answer.
I don't know. I can't say.
I have nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, you are done testifying.
Thank you.
Watch your step. Ms. Ripley?
Yes, Judge. At this time, people would call Tawana Butts.
Okay,
I
Tawana
was gonna
Butts
ask you
is his
if-
sister,
if
right?
5-10 minutes break, are we all okay?
I'll take it.
Okay, 5 minutes. Use the restroom.
Yes.
All right, Tawana Butts is Jarvis Butts' sister, right, guys? Okay.
Probably have to, not actually, not yet.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit so we can go past all of this, okay? Are they talking? Ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. He's back in the court.
Now back in session.
And we are back on the record, People of the State of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts, 2459617. Ms. Ripley, you can go ahead with your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, people will call Tawana Butts.
Walk his way, please. Walk up to the lady in blue, and still state your name for the record. Raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Watch your step. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Ripley.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Tawana Butts,
And how old are you, Ms. Butts?
46.
And do you know someone named Jarvis Butts?
Yes,
And how is it that you know him?
he's my brother.
Okay. And how old is Jarvis Butts?
42.
And do you know his birthday?
Yes,
When's his birthday?
November 21st, 1982.
And do you see Jarvis Butts in the courtroom today?
saw him walking in.
Okay. And can you point to him and tell me the color of the clothing that he's wearing?
He has on, I believe it's dark green shirt. He's sitting behind the lady to the side of you.
And Your Honor, would the record reflect when it says identified the defendant in this case?
So reflective. And just to be clear, you said I saw him walking in. You saw him when you were walking in or when he was walking in?
When I was walking in just now.
Thank you.
And Ms. Butts, where did you know Jarvis to work?
He worked at a shop on Warren and Neff, called Frank's, and then he moved to a shop on Hopper and Connors. I don't know the name of it.
And Ms. Butts, do you remember talking to Detroit police back on February 26, 2024?
Yes,
And what's the reason that you went and talked to Detroit police?
I had reason to believe that I saw Naziah the day she went missing.
Tell me about that. What makes you believe that you saw Naziah on the day she went missing?
Where do you want me to start this about?
So, from the very beginning, where is it that you think you saw Naziah?
At the shop on Harbor and Connors.
Okay, and whose shop is that?
My brother Jarvis Butts and his partner.
Okay. What's the reason you were at your brother's shop that day?
Something was wrong with the car that I was driving, and I just needed him to check it out to make sure it was safe for me to drive.
Do you recall about what time did you go to Jarvis's shop that day?
About 4 p.m., give or take a few minutes.
Okay, and around what time did you leave?
Somewhere between 6 and 6:30.
Okay. And what is it that you noticed while you were at the shop?
So it's a two car, like garage. So I was sitting outside of the shop in my car because they were working on another car on the inside. As I sat there for the time that I was there, I kept seeing a little girl get in and out of his truck, going to the gas station and going back to his car.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. Whose car are we talking about?
My brother.
Okay, and what kind of car was it?
Believe the Cadillac Escalade.
Okay, do you remember what color?
Kind of like a pearl white, off white cream color.
Okay, and you described this as a two garage shop?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to approach with people's exhibit 7.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Butts, do you recognize what is it we're looking at in people's exhibit 7?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That is the shop
Okay,
right in the middle.
and where at were you parked when you saw someone getting in and out of Jarvis's truck?
In front of the car doors of the garage right here, I was parked facing, I don't know what direction it is, but going towards Gratiot. I was like in front, but outside.
Okay, so you were kind of parked parallel with the road?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you draw a T where your truck was?
My car?
Yeah, your car was.
Can I?
Yes. And then put an arrow the way you were facing. And where is it where that Jarvis's truck was? Just put a J where Jarvis's truck was. And what way was his truck facing?
It was facing my direction, so the front was towards.
Towards you. Okay, so put an arrow for that direction. Do you get a look at this little girl that you see getting in and out of his car?
I saw her, cause she was walking, I never saw her face.
Did you see any clothing?
I did.
Okay. Did anything about the clothing stick out to you that you remember?
I just remember her having on a colorful jacket.
And what door, which side do you remember seeing her getting in and out of Jarvis's truck? Or did it change?
I don't really remember.
Okay, that's okay. So you said you mostly remember a jacket, a colorful jacket.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what's marked as People's Exhibit 2, which is already admitted, and People's Proposed Exhibit 10. You under my approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Handing you what's marked as People's Exhibits 2 and 10. Okay. Do you recognize anything in those photos?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
What is it that you recognize?
Right here, this jacket.
And for the record, you're pointing up in channel 1, and you recognize this like pink colorful jacket?
Yes.
Okay. And that's in People's Exhibit 10? Your Honor, I would move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 10 as Exhibit 10. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the jacket that you saw that day?
Yes.
I move for the proposed People's Exhibit 10.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, it'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 10.
Okay. And in People's 2, is that also, where is the what you recognize People's Exhibit 2?
It looks like channel 2 here maybe.
Okay, facing the back?
Yeah.
Okay. And you recognize the jacket in this photo too, right? Yes.
It's a little blurry, but it looks the same.
Okay.
I mean,
And what about in channel 1 of Exhibit 2?
it would be this one right here.
Okay, and it's fair to say that's the back of a jacket? Or it seems to be the back of a jacket? Okay, thank you. And you said that you saw this little girl with this jacket on getting in and out and going into the gas station?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know who this little girl was at the time?
No.
Okay. Is there a time that you ever get out of your car?
Yes.
And what do you do?
I needed to use the restroom, so I asked his partner if I could use the restroom. He told me to go and tell him in the gas station. And as I was walking towards the gas station, she was walking in front of me going into the gas station.
Okay. So about how far in front of you was she?
I would say maybe where the gentleman in the gray blazer is behind you. Maybe a little bit farther, I'm not really sure about that distance.
From where you are to him?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm really bad at estimates.
20, 25 feet?
Yeah, I would agree with about 20 to 25 feet. And you said you never got a chance to see this little girl's face.
No.
Was there anything else about her that you can remember?
I just remember her being kind of small, like outside of just seeing her get in and out of the car. When I was walking towards her, I was like, she's tiny, and I just remembered the coat.
Okay. Tiny, like in what way? Like tiny, skinny, short?
Kind of skinny and short.
Okay. And did you ever ask Jarvis who the little girl was?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
He told me, and I can't remember if it was this exact word, or he said it's my partner's niece, or he said it was King's niece.
Okay, but
But
you knew who he was referring to?
yes,
Okay. Did you think anything of it at the time?
no,
And what is it that made you think something? Was there a time where you thought something different?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it that made you think something different?
I received phone call, well, a video call from one of his kids' mom, and she told me about some things that happened on Valentine's Day, and then she sent me a video of a podcast about my brother.
Okay. And what did you do as a result of receiving those things?
I called Shannon and I asked her for Sergeant Jones' phone number.
Okay. And who's the Shannon that you called?
His kid's mom.
Shannon Harris?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do anything before you go and talk to Sergeant Jones?
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you do?
Okay, so after having a conversation with Shannon Harris and his other kid's mom, I was informed that his partner King, I guess something happened where
Objection, this is hearsay.
There's not a statement yet, Judge.
Being informed.
I'm not sure what she's even about to say.
Okay, just to the extent that it's informed of someone else's statement.
You might have to object in a couple moments.
You need to speak up,
If you could stand up and
please.
make your objection.
Yes, just objecting to the fact that she was informed of something. It appears this might be hearsay, but we'll see.
Yeah. Could you finish what you were saying? I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm trying to remember where I left. Okay, so after talking to Shannon Harris and his other kid's mom, I was informed of some things that had taken place, I think Valentine's Day. So they told me that his
So
partner
objection.
King,
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
That
at this point, this is hearsay. They told me and the lack of personal knowledge of the things that she was informed of.
can I finish?
1 second.
One.
What is an
Sorry.
objection?
I'm
Everybody-
sorry.
The witness
Sorry.
has to stop talking.
So based on those, do you go and talk to someone else?
Yes,
Okay. Who do you go and talk to?
his partner King
Okay. And where is it that you go and talk to King at?
at the shop on Harbor Encounters.
Okay. And without telling me what King said, kind of describe what was your conversation about?
Well, I went to see what happened and what was going on. During that time, I told him that I had never seen any little girl at my brother's shop besides my nieces, outside of the little girl that I saw getting out of his truck that day.
Okay.
And you told this to who?
King.
Who is King again?
His business partner.
Okay. And do you know his government name?
I believe it's Cordero or something like that. I just always call him King.
So you went and told him that you hadn't seen anyone out at the shop besides your nieces and then the one little girl you saw that one day.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask him about that little girl?
Well, I didn't ask him about it. After I said that to him, he told me.
Objection, Your Honor, this is going to be hearsay again.
Judge, it's going to go to the effect on the listening.
There could be an exception. I don't know what she's saying. So you might as well just stay standing up. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
After I mentioned to him that I had only saw my nieces and one particular little girl, he then told me that that was Naziah that I saw that day and I was there.
So I would object then, given now that she has testified to that it is hearsay, that it is being introduced for the truth.
And Judge, I would say that it's actually a statement of identification.
this is not an identification that she personally made, she's just being told.
When she saw Messiah that day, so it's.
She didn't know who it was, I mean, she had no idea who this was, that's
She
not
didn't know
her
who she was.
identification.
So it is hearsay.
Okay, so without saying what King said, were you informed of anything about a little girl that you saw on January 9th, 2024?
Yes,
Okay, and to your knowledge, Jarvis had told you that that was King's niece.
yes,
Okay, and when you talked to King, did you have reason to not believe what Jarvis told you?
yes,
Okay. Do you know your nieces from Jarvis? Sorry. That is a poorly worded question. I am sorry. If that was your niece, would you have recognized her that day?
yes,
Okay. And you did not recognize this little girl as your niece, did you?
no,
Okay. What is it that you did after speaking with King that day?
I called Shannon Harris and I asked her for Sergeant Jones' phone number.
Okay. And did you eventually talk to Sergeant Jones?
Yes,
Okay. Sorry about that. What day was it that you went to the shop and saw the little girl?
can I ask you a question? I didn't remember the exact day at that time.
Okay. What is it that makes you believe that it was Messiah Harris that you saw on that day?
I'm not quite sure how to answer what you're asking me, like,
That may be a poorly worded question. I'm sorry. Can I just have 1 second, George?
Yes.
This is deep, y'all. This is very deep.
Ms. Butts, did you come to learn of the day that you had gone to Jarvis's shop by going through the locations on your phone?
yes,
Okay. And that's the day that you don't remember off the top of your head right now, but it is revealed in your phone locations?
yes.
Let's see. One second. Let me get her find it.
It gets worse. Oh Lord, Lady Leo, please. Let me bring that bone over here. Sorry. Colby is bringing a bone to me. But I want a bone. I don't want a bone. Have to stretch out.
when is it that you went through your phone locations to determine the date?
Oh, look at her.
I'm sorry, do you need a moment?
Oh.
I believe it's February, I think like 24th or the 26th. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay, that's when you would have went through your phone to find those?
Yes.
Okay, and did you also go through that in your interview with Sergeant Jones?
Yes.
Okay. And did you give Sergeant Jones permission to look at your location data?
Yes.
Okay. And your phone kind of extraction in general? Like to go through your phone for the data?
Yes.
Okay.
Who said it gets? I don't
Nothing
know.
else, Judge?
I know you said it's deep, but it gets better. Oh. You mean worse?
So you go to the shop where your brother works periodically, right?
From time to time, yes.
You've been there prior to the day we've been talking about today?
Yes.
A couple times at least?
Yes.
And you'd been back there after?
Yes.
But the day we've been talking about, that's the only time you ever saw a child there?
That was the only time I saw a child I didn't recognize.
Okay, so you had seen other children there before?
Yes.
Okay, when you say that you recognize, these are who exactly?
My
usually?
nieces.
And when you first arrived at the shop that day, Jarvis told you that he wasn't going to be able to work on your car?
No.
No? Did you ask him if he'd be able to?
Judge, I think this calls for hearsay. They can't admit statements of the defendant.
I'm looking more so from her own statement, actually.
From her
We'll
what?
start with her own statement.
Okay.
Did you ask him right away if he would be able to work on your car
I talked to him prior to coming to the shop.
before you arrived? You asked if he could work on your car that day?
I asked him to look at my car that day.
Okay. Did you arrive at the shop with the understanding that he would or would not be able to?
I arrived at the shop knowing that he was going to look at my car.
Okay. One moment. And was that via text or call or some other way?
Probably video call.
Okay, so a video call a little bit before you headed over?
Earlier in the day, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what time.
Okay, so that's how you decided that you'd go over later.
He told me I could come.
Judge, this is kind of all calling for hearsay in a backdoor way.
The response is hearsay. Not
Yes.
that you necessarily asked for it, but it's hearsay.
Sure, we can
Be
keep it as her own. So to be clear, we don't need to talk about what he said to you, but you did a video call to him. And in that call, you asked if he could work on your car.
You
Right.
keep saying work on my car. I said look at my car.
Okay, look at your car, but you asked him personally in a video call.
Yes.
Okay, and that was maybe that morning?
I don't remember what time of day it was, but it was before I went to him.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and as you were saying, this day, I think you said you saw some other children there at other times, but this particular child, you only ever saw this child on this particular day.
Yes.
Did she know her brother wasn't supposed to be around children?
Testimony, and from that police interview, you said that you never saw her face.
Yes.
And then you did also see some news stories about this case.
Yes.
Yeah, in the podcast that you talked about. Right, there were some podcasts.
I had already saw her on the news, but I did not know who she was.
Sure, but that was by seeing those stories, that's how you started to think.
Well, I was sent the
Hey, Antoinette.
podcast after some other things that was told to me. That's when I received the podcast.
So initially, between the day you were at the shop, right, and then until you started to see that news, at first you didn't make this connection that maybe she was anyone in particular.
Not at all.
And then through seeing that news, those podcasts, that's when you started to think she
No.
was.
That's not the reason why I thought that.
No, but that's the timing, or it's not?
I guess you could say that.
That's when you started to, at least when you saw those things, that's when you started to wonder.
I was wondering before I saw the podcast.
Okay, in your police interview that you did you tell them that at first when you saw the news, you didn't really make a connection because of not having seen her face?
Yes.
Okay. So that interview was on February 26th, 2024, right?
Yes.
And you were having some trouble remembering some of the specific details from January 9th at that point?
Not so much as remembering maybe the order I remembered it in.
Okay, were there some times at least though when you were asked some questions and some details that you had to say, I can't remember some things?
I can't remember now.
Okay. And would you agree that at least
Like,
when
it didn't mean that.
okay. I would just say,
probably did. I guess it would be safe to say because I didn't know.
okay, so you think it's safe to say that at that point in time, there are at least some details you were having a hard time, some questions you couldn't answer?
I can't disagree.
And it was pretty close in time, shortly before that police interview. That was when you first started to think that maybe this girl you'd seen at the shop had been Messiah Harris.
Can you repeat that?
So the first time you started to think that maybe that child, the one you saw, maybe that was Messiah Harris, that was pretty close in time to the police interview.
Maybe about a week or so before.
Okay. I believe, does it sound right to you that I think you told the police that it was on the Thursday prior to the interview?
Whatever the Thursday was after Valentine's Day.
Okay. So probably February 22nd. That was the Thursday prior to your interview.
Okay.
And then when you were at the shop, you primarily saw this child while she was inside a truck, right?
I didn't know it was a child in the truck until she kept getting out.
Okay, but when you saw her, she was in a truck?
I saw her getting out the truck, yes.
And were you inside your vehicle?
Yes.
You arrived in the daylight, right?
Yes.
And that's, I think, what you're referring to, right? Initially, that's when you didn't yet know somebody was in the truck.
Can you say that again?
So at the beginning, when you first got there, right, you didn't know right away that somebody was in the truck.
No, I didn't.
I think you had said before, because it was so light outside, it was a bit difficult to see into the truck.
I wasn't really paying attention to his truck. He was outside of it.
Sure. And then in your police interview, you referred to then seeing a light in the truck, and that's when you started to see somebody?
Yeah, that's when the door opened.
Okay, so there's a light turned on, and at the same time, a door opened?
That's the reason the light was on.
Okay, because the truck door was open. Yes?
Sure.
And you said that you saw a couple different times her go back and forth to the gas station?
Yes.
And only one of those different times you were on your way to the gas station as well.
Yes.
But for that whole time, she remained in front of you?
When I was going into the gas station, she was in front of me. When I walked into the gas station, she went to the left, I went straight, and over to the right.
For that walk over to the gas station, was it getting dark at that point?
It was already dark.
Okay. And while she was in the truck, you were not sure exactly which part of the truck this was?
I can't remember, no.
Okay. So you understood initially that when you arrived, you'd probably have to wait at the shop sometime?
Yes,
I think you referred to just one other car he worked on first. Is that all there was before you?
it was actually another vehicle out there, but I don't pay my brother to work on my car, so I had to wait until he was done making his money. So
Sure,
I waited.
sure. So do you know how many cars he worked on before he got to you?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know if there were any other customers present in person?
I did see someone, I can't remember what kind of car it was in, but it was, I believe, a gentleman, that needed to pull into the garage because Jarvis asked me to move my car out the way because I was blocking the garage, so, yes.
Was this someone you recognized at all?
No,
So in total, other than Jarvis or who you referred to as King, was there anyone present that you recognized that day?
no, just King and my brother.
So as you said, the sun set while you were there. Do you know about how long it was light out before it got dark?
Well, I got there about 4 o'clock. It didn't take long for it to get dark. I don't remember the exact time, but it got dark pretty fast.
Okay, and then other than when you went to the gas station, were you always at the shop?
What do you mean?
So did you go anywhere else?
No, I never left. All I did was move my car when he asked me to move my car. And once the driveway was clear, I backed back where I was. I didn't go anywhere else.
Okay. And when you were present, not going to the gas station, were you always inside your vehicle?
Yes,
Were your doors open or closed?
closed.
Okay, and were your windows up or down?
They were up unless I asked him something.
Okay, so sometimes if you needed to communicate, you just open the window.
Or I would call him, yeah. Yes.
And you were saying today that at one point you did speak to Jarvis about who this girl was.
Yes.
And when you were talking to the police about this, you had said that you weren't sure exactly what his response was.
What I said was I wasn't sure of the wording.
Sure, that's what I mean. That
Okay.
You told the police, right, that it might have been King's niece, or maybe he said it's my homeboy's niece.
He said it was his partner or King's niece, but he definitely said it was someone else's niece.
Okay, I think, does it sound right to you that you used the term homeboy's niece with the police?
I probably did.
Okay.
It's all the same to me.
And then that's what you continued to think at first, right? At first, you just believed that it was someone else's niece.
Yeah,
Specifically, you thought it was probably King's niece,
that's what I was told.
which I think as we established, right, King is the same person as Cordell, right?
Yes.
And then after that, you would listen to some of these podcasts and to the news.
I listened to his kid's mother, and then I watched the podcast.
Okay, so those are some things that happened.
Yes.
And then once you started to have this different information you were gathering, then you kind of started to look into it for yourself,
Yes.
do some of your own investigation.
Yes.
And then at one point following that, that's when you decided to go back to the shop
Yes.
to speak to Cordell
Yes.
and to discuss some of these things you've been learning with him.
Yes.
You and Jarvis are not particularly close.
I wouldn't say that we're really distant. I don't see him every day. I don't talk to him every day, but he's my brother.
He's your brother, but you don't have a very close relationship, or?
He's my brother.
What about with his children? Are you close with his children?
Some of the ones that I know.
So he has 13 kids, right?
I have no idea.
Do you have an idea of around how many kids he has?
A lot,
Okay. Do some of them live with different mothers?
yes.
And you don't spend time with all of them?
No,
So which ones do you know?
I don't want to say their names. They're minors.
Okay.
And I don't want to disclose their identity.
Could you just give like a number instead? How many do you know?
I'm counting. About 8.
So when you say 8 that you know, does that mean 8 that you have like personal contact with?
I have.
When is the last time that you've seen any of them?
About 2 months ago.
Were you and Jarvis raised by your grandmother?
For the most part.
And were there some events surrounding her death that related to your relationship with Jarvis that impacted some things?
No.
Oh, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Butts, you said that there was another reason, there was a different reason that you thought that it was Nazai that you had saw that day. When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Nazai.
So, am I?
Yes.
can I
What
speak for-
what is
okay,
that? Yes.
So, at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why I thought these things.
Your Honor,
It's up to you.
can we approach? Yes. We'll be right back. Go in the hallway.
You need some water or something? Can you get some water from there? Can you give her some water?
Oh, yeah.
Please. It's gonna be all right. Huh?
Can you do some more?
No, just it.
Okay.
I got like 2 items.
Okay, we are back on the record. Ms. Butts, you are still under oath. Ms. Ripley, go right ahead.
Thank you. So, Ms. Books, what's the sources of these reasons that you have? Are these things that you know from your personal knowledge? Are these things that you observe yourself?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Repeat that.
So these reasons that you were thinking of, what are the sources of them? Is it somebody told you something? Is it something that you saw yourself, you observed, or a coupling of that?
I would say a bit of both. Things that I was told and things that I heard.
Okay. Were there heard from Jarvis?
No.
Okay. Were these things that you had already known prior
to
thinking that was Messiah that you saw?
I'm sorry, I'm confused on the question.
So are these things the sources that you have for these reasons? Are they like things that you have personal knowledge of, or are they things that somebody told you about?
These were things that I was told. I'm trying to understand the question that you're asking me.
Ms. Ripley, you're referring to the question before we went into sidebar about her leading up to believing that it was possibly Naziah Harris at the shop, correct?
Yes.
Does that help clarify
Okay.
the line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay, so those reasons, those things, are those things that you had known before? Are they based on your observations, or?
Well, these were things that I was told. And after asking the questions that I needed to ask, I came up with the conclusion that it was a possibility that Naziah was the little girl that I saw that day.
Okay, thank you. You said that when you were parked at Jarvis's shop, that it was getting dark out.
Yes.
Okay. That darkness, is that maybe the reason why the color on the jacket stood out?
Well, the jacket didn't stand out until I was walking into the gas station behind her because I wasn't really, like, paying attention to what she had on. I just kept seeing her get in and out of the truck, going in the gas station and coming back to the truck. And that's what caught my attention.
Okay, so the movement is what attracted you to it at first.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing for the judge. Nothing further.
Okay, Ms. Bussey, you're done testifying. Watch your step coming out of the witness box, okay? Okay, one last witness for today, correct?
Yes, Judge. At this time, people would call Latricia Johnson.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You do. Watch your step.
Speak into this mic, pick it up more than we have if you like.
Whenever you're ready, Ms. Brookie.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Latricia Johnson,
And how old are you?
31.
And I don't want to know your exact address, but what is this? What street do you live on?
Out of Drive in Belfort.
And what kind of vehicle did you drive back in January of 2024?
A blue Nissan Sentra.
Okay. And do you recall being interviewed by Detroit police back on August 30th of 2024?
Yes.
And fair to say that was in relation to a Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know a Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that you know Jarvis Butts?
He's my daughter's father.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point to him and tell me a color of the clothing that he's wearing?
He's right there and he's wearing green.
Right here.
And Your Honor, would the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant?
So reflective.
Thank you. And you said that he's your daughter's father.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 2.
So,
And when did you meet Jarvis Butts?
2019.
And how was it that you met him?
I had a flat tire and I went to his
thank you,
office,
Renette.
Warren and Casual. Enough.
Now, you said you have one daughter with Mr. Butts. Do you have any other children?
Yes.
Okay. What other children do you have?
I have a son.
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 7.
And that is not a child by Mr.
No.
Butts. Okay. Now, do you recall, we'll take you back to February 15th, 2024. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened that day?
Police came to my home, asked me if I know Jarvis and have I seen Naziah
Okay.
before.
All right. And did you, I guess, did they do anything at your house when you were there?
They searched my house.
Did they ever search, on that day, did they search your vehicle?
No,
Okay.
they just looked in there. They didn't do it for, I don't know if that was what you call a search, but them looking inside.
Was there ever a time that you allowed Jarvis to use your vehicle?
Yes, one time.
Okay. And which,
2 times.
2 times? Okay.
Ms.
And
Johnson, can you speak up just a little bit louder?
2 times.
Thank you.
in which vehicle was that?
The blue Nissan Sentra.
Okay. And I showed you a PowerPoint before of 197 photos of a Nissan Sentra. Do you recall seeing those photos?
Yes.
Ms.
And
Ridley, can you hold off one moment for the court reporter?
oh, sorry. Yes. Do you recall me showing you the photos of a Nissan Sentra before?
Yes.
Okay. And in showing you those photos, did those fairly and accurately depict how your Nissan Sentra looked back on August 30th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did
My lady here alone.
First, I'll move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 11, the PowerPoint of the Nissan Sentra.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be a minute as People's Exhibit 11.
Thank you, Judge. May I publish?
Yes.
Now, when you let Jarvis Butts borrow your vehicle, did it look? Oops, sorry. Did it look how it was photoed?
The back was messed up, but the front was good.
Okay.
It was fixed.
So back in January of 2024, your car still had the front end?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the only difference in how it looked
On
from?
the photo, yes.
Okay. So that's the only difference in how it looked from January of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. When is it that Mr. Butts borrowed your vehicle?
January 9th.
Is that the first time?
Yes.
Okay. And you said there was a second time?
Yes.
When was that?
I think it was either the next day or the day after that day. I don't remember.
Okay. The first time, let's talk about the first time. How did it come about that he borrowed your car?
He called and asked if he can use my car to do something with his son.
Okay. And when is it that or how did he get your car?
I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock and he came to my house. To pick
Okay.
my car up.
Is that 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.?
Bless you.
Okay.
Whoever
And
that
you said
was
he came to your house and picked it up?
in there.
Okay. To your knowledge, did Mr. Butts say how long he was going to borrow your car for?
No,
Okay. Did you have a time where you expected it back?
at least 2 hours.
Okay. When did Mr. Butts return with your car?
The next morning.
Was this normal, abnormal,
No, not normal.
not normal? Okay. And did Mr. Butts say what he was doing when he had your car?
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything different about or in your car after his use that first time?
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything in the back seat that was different?
There was a pair of glasses that was left that my son was playing with at the time.
Okay. And I'm going to show you. In People's Exhibit 11, photo 37. Where at would your son be sitting?
On the passenger side,
Okay, in the passenger.
on the back seat.
So. You can kind of see it better in photo 41. He would sit behind the passenger seat.
Yes.
Okay. Describe the glasses that he was playing with?
I believe they were clear around the frame part. I don't know what the ends look like, but I do remember they were clear around the frames.
Okay. And I want to show you what's already been introduced as People's Exhibit 12.
Yes.
Is there anything in People's Exhibit 12 that you recognize?
The glasses.
Okay. How is it that you recognize those glasses?
They were clear just like that. The one my son was playing with.
Okay. Now, you said your son was playing with them in the back seat. How did you get them from your son?
I told him to give them to me because I didn't know who glasses they were.
Okay. How is it that you go to ask or come to ask Jarvis about these glasses?
Well, my son was playing with them when I was with Jarvis at his shop.
And I guess
The next day, I went up to the shop, and my son, picking my son up from school, Jarvis was see his daughter, and my son was playing in the back with the glasses.
okay. From when Jarvis had borrowed your car and returned it to you picking up your son from school, had anybody else borrowed your car?
No.
Okay. So you're at the shop. You see your son playing with the glasses. You take them from him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Now tell me what does Jarvis do?
He snatched them from me and said those were his son's glasses.
Okay. Okay. And do you think anything of this at the time?
No, I just thought that was his sunglasses because he said he was taking his son somewhere in the car.
Now the second time that Jarvis asked to use your car, you said that was either the day after or the next day.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about how that comes to happen.
Well, he comes to my house when he get off work. He comes by to get my car. Said he needs to use it again for his son. I said okay. And he said he wasn't gonna be gone for that long like he was the time before. I said okay. He was only gone for like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. And are those the only 2 times that he ever used your car?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Were there times that he would be in your car with you?
Yes.
That he would take in places?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had any contact with Jarvis since he turned himself in on February 7th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that through?
Phone calls, get out, text, app.
Okay.
Ms.
And-
Johnson, you need to pull that microphone off the ledge. Yeah, that way I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you recall a phone call in which Jarvis asked you some things about your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And you've heard that call before?
Yes.
Okay. And was that call that I played for you, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the call that you had with
Yes.
Jarvis and him asking you about the car?
Yes.
And I'd move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 13.
Any objection?
No objection.
And
Okay.
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yeah, it'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 13 and you can publish. Can I also see Exhibit 12 when you get a moment?
Yes, Judge.
May I approach?
Yes.
And for the record, this phone call is 6 minutes and 43 seconds long.
You didn't get what she said?
Wayne County Jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. The inmate has requested that you pay for this call. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now. Thank you for using Tell
Yeah.
Anyway, I got one more for you to do. 313-207-2195. Hello? 207. 219.
217.
Huh?
217.
0.
Hello?
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 Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright. I don't know what the fuck going on, man, but yeah, they can tell everybody shit.
You said what?
I said, I don't know what the fuck going on, but they can tell everybody shit.
Everybody shit. You on everybody's house? They come to my shit? I don't even think they know of me.
But I need you to, anything that I had, anything that I touched, that's for yourself, man. Anything about me, man. That's for your goddamn self. You feel me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Clearly.
Yeah, so, just say go to mama's house.
Go on.
Yeah. Go to my house, man.
Fine. How you calling me?
My house, I'm doing something I ain't supposed to be doing. Go to my house, man. I'm okay.
Huh?
Go to my house, get mama okay.
You in her car?
If you gotta go home, use her car.
Okay. So don't use my car, though.
I don't know what's going on, bro. They're taking everything out, bro. Use your mama car. You can drive around, man, trying to put yourself with your mama car, man. Your brother carries somebody's car. This shit is beyond.
Okay.
This is beyond, man. I don't know what this fuck, man. Clean them motherfuckers up, something. I don't know.
My car?
Yeah, they got my phone. got my cars, they got their cars, they got their guns, I don't know what the fuck they do, bro. Yeah, but what the fuck did that got shit to do with me is what I'm saying. That got shit to do with me, man, and I'm not understanding what the fuck is going on, you feel me? I'll call you later, man. Like, I don't know what's going on around my head around this shit, though. This shit's starting to piss me off.
Okay,
I'll get in touch with you later, man.
okay.
Alright. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's going on, bro? You got your job, your regular job?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My regular job, 6:45.
I'll call you about 7:30.
All right,
Later.
22.
Now, what is it? What did you think when Jarvis told you those things?
I didn't know what to think when he told me those things.
What did you do in response to receiving this call, if anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Did you clean anything up?
No.
Did you wipe anything down?
No.
And that would be in your house?
Yes. House, car,
Car?
everything.
Okay.
Didn't touch it up. Nothing.
All right. So, just to clarify a little bit, Jarvis borrowed your car on the 9th,
Yes.
brought it back the 10th in the morning,
Yes.
Did-
Yeah.
about 6 a.m. or so, or in the
Yeah.
morning,
In the morning, about 8:30, 8 o'clock.
8:30. All
I
right.
was taking my son to school.
Okay. And did he borrow it later that day again or the next day?
I can't remember if it was later that day or the next day. I just know he did it again.
Okay. I think that's just.
Good afternoon. Now, you indicated that you knew Mr. Butts since 2019,
Yes.
correct? You met him at the shop, correct?
Yes.
At his shop.
Yes.
Would you describe your relationship with him as a
Whole.
I'm sorry?
You said as a whole, we do.
Would you describe it as a physical relationship or was it a real relationship?
It was a physical relationship.
Okay, so you knew Mr. Butts was seeing other people, correct?
Yes.
All right, so that's not a surprise to you,
No.
correct?
The fact that he lied to me, that's a surprise.
Okay. So he would tell you he was coming over and you wouldn't know where he was coming from, correct?
Yes.
That's nothing new.
That's nothing.
Okay. Do you know, besides your daughter with Mr. Butts, do you know Mr. Butts' other children?
I met quite a few of them.
Okay. Have you met any of the other mothers?
About two in the beginning of the relationship we had. He introduced me to about 2 or 3 of the mothers.
Okay. And have you had any issues with the mothers?
No,
Okay. So you know Mr. Butch works as a mechanic, correct?
yes,
And have you ever seen him wearing safety glasses in the shop?
yes,
Okay. Safety glasses are clear, aren't they?
they're not those.
They're not.
They're not the kinds that I've seen. No,
Okay. So he borrowed your car on the night, correct?
yes,
And you said he came over around 9 p.m.
yes.
All right. When he came over 9 p.m., was there anything out of the ordinary that you noticed?
No,
Okay. Did you have a conversation with him that day?
we swapped out cars. We had a quick swap out cars, and he was gone.
And there was no other conversation
No.
that day? You didn't notice anything about his appearance?
No,
You didn't notice anything about his demeanor?
no,
Okay. And you say he came back the next day?
yes.
All right.
The next morning.
Could he have dropped your car off later that night? I mean, earlier that night?
No, he did not.
He didn't drop it off at, say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, he did not.
Okay. And you said that your son, and forgive me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but there was a lot of things in this car.
Mhm.
Is that the condition the car always was in?
My son has his toys. There's always stuff in there, yes.
Okay.
But
You try to
it's
say your
only
car
my
junkie,
kids'
lady.
stuff that be in my car, because me and my kids are the only people that really be in my car, or my mother.
Okay. And your testimony is Jarvis, but prior to the night, had never been in this car before?
Oh, no, he's been in my car.
Okay.
He's been in my car. I take him places.
Okay. So your son finds the glasses,
Yes.
correct? And you say he finds the glasses, this would be on the 10th? He finds the glasses?
Yes, either the next day or whenever. I don't remember what day, but I know the next day. It was the next day we went over. Yes, it was.
So you're not sure what day the glasses were
I'm
found?
not sure what day the glasses was found because I went to his job twice
Okay.
after that. So I don't know which day. I don't know if it was the 10th or the 11th.
So it could have been either day.
Yes,
All right.
but
And
it was in my car.
so your son was playing with these glasses.
Yes,
There was nothing remarkable about these glasses, correct?
they were just clear glasses.
And you couldn't identify the glasses and say, hey, these glasses were smaller than a normal pair of glasses. These must be a pair of kids' glasses, right? You couldn't say that,
He
correct?
said they were his son glasses. So is he saying as his son that would mean it was a kid glasses, right?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So he said they were his son's glasses.
Yes.
And
Mr. Hawthorne.
Who's that coughing? The mom neighbor got pregnant by her?
Take your time. You sure?
I got a call. You want one right quick? Oh, okay. I got you.
What?
It's-
Go right ahead.
all right. So you said your son was playing with the glasses, correct? And you took the glasses from your son, correct?
Yes.
And what did you do with them once you took them?
He was playing with when I was up there with Jarvis. When I took it from him and said, "Those are not your glasses," Jarvis took them from my hand.
Okay, so you didn't examine these glasses, correct?
I looked at him on his face when he was playing with them on his face.
Okay,
So how can I not examine these glasses when I'm looking at my son with these glasses on his face?
you didn't study these glasses, correct?
No, I didn't study these glasses,
Okay.
but they were clear and they were on my son's face.
So later on, you showed a picture of Naziah Harris, correct?
Yes.
And you saw her wearing clear glasses as well, correct?
Yes.
At the time you saw her with the glasses, did anyone tell you that she was missing?
Yes, they did.
Were
When they
you
showed me the picture.
were you aware that she was missing?
From the news.
Okay. And were you aware that Mr. Butts was a suspect?
No,
Okay.
not at the time until they came to my door.
Okay. So when you told them that these glasses, you saw glasses similar to this.
I didn't tell them then.
Okay.
I didn't know about that until after.
All right.
It took me a minute to think about the glasses
So you came back and told them later,
when they came to my house.
okay, that you saw a pair of glasses in your car.
Yes.
And the best you can say is that these glasses may be similar, correct?
They maybe was similar.
Right.
Yes.
You cannot testify that these are the exact same glasses, correct?
No, I cannot testify those are the exact same glasses.
Can you tell whether the glasses had prescription lenses?
I didn't put them on my face though, so how do I know?
Did your son say anything about that?
No, he
No,
wouldn't
how
say
would he know?
anything.
He said he was, what, 6, 7, 5 at the time. So how will you know what prescription glasses are?
You wearing prescription glasses, right?
Yes.
If you take them off, you see differently, correct?
Yes, but I did not put the glasses on.
Yeah.
So how will I know they were prescription glasses if I didn't wear them?
My question
My son
was,
wore the glasses, so how am I supposed to know? I don't have his eyes.
my question
Ooh,
was, did
ooh.
your son say anything about the
No,
glasses?
He was
didn't say that.
playing with the glasses, and I told him to take the glasses off because we didn't know who glasses they were.
Okay.
I didn't know if they were prescription, so I told him to take them off. When he take them off, he handed to me. Oh, Jarvis said, "Oh, those are my sunglasses," and he snatches it from my hand.
Okay. And what did Jarvis do with the glasses?
I don't know. He went towards his car.
Okay. You didn't think anything else of the glasses, did you?
No,
Okay.
all he said was those were his sunglasses at the time.
You're employed?
Yes.
All right. And your Nissan, was that your primary mode of transportation?
No.
That was a secondary car?
Yes.
Okay.
You going in on him.
I don't drive my car. I use my mom's car when I'm working.
So is Nissan your car?
Yes, it's my car.
Okay. And Mr. Butts called you and told you to drive someone else's car?
Yeah.
All right. Just one moment.
Yeah,
So
if
when he
it's
told
true.
you that, you didn't do anything, right?
No.
You didn't think anything of it,
No.
correct? You didn't clean out this car, correct?
No.
So anything of Mr. Butts would still be in this car, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Johnson, you were asked about knowing that Mr. Butts was seeing other women.
Yes.
But you said he lied about things.
Yes.
What did he lie about?
About how many women, if he was still dealing with the women,
Okay.
everything, pretty much.
Okay. So you didn't, fair to say you wouldn't know how many women were out there?
Yes.
Okay. And
Nikki,
you know
thank you. Nikki's
that he
in
would be
here,
dealing
y'all.
with women at the same time as he was dealing with you?
Indiana,
Yes.
I'm going to object at this point. I'm not sure what the relevance of that is as to this. How many women he's dealing with?
It goes
You have a
through.
response?
Yeah, it goes to whether or not he would be like whether he's secretive about things, whether he would know about.
He's very.
1 second, Ms. Johnson.
Yeah.
It's okay, 1 second.
That was really that was really the extent of the question.
It was asking across how
Yeah.
many women he slept with
Yeah,
and whether she knew.
wanted to get that was really the extent of the question.
Okay, we'll just ask the question again.
Yeah, just was he a secretive person to you?
Yes, he's very secretive.
Okay, and when he told you a reason why he wanted to use your car, did you have any reasons to think that that might not be true?
I honestly thought it was for his son. So, whenever he says anything about his kids, I believe him when it comes to his kids. I thought he was a great father to his kids. That's what he put on to me, but
Okay, so that's what he led you to believe.
yeah.
Okay, nothing further, Judge.
Yeah, and I actually got a couple of follow-up questions.
Go ahead.
Now, you said that he was secretive, correct?
Yes.
And that's when it came to women, correct?
Yes.
That bothered you, correct?
I mean, it would bother anyone when a man is supposed to be telling you the truth and he being really secretive about everything. And you being honest with them.
So you were upset about that?
Honesty.
So you were upset about that, correct?
About him being with other women, cheating? Not really, because I was doing it too.
Oh,
How about that?
what?
You all gotta be quiet.
No further questions.
She said I was doing it
Any
too.
last questions?
She said she was doing it too. Man, it's spreading a whole bunch
Okay,
of
so the
diseases
last
around now
question.
and thing, y'all.
Yes, Judge.
'Cause he sure wasn't using no protection because he's having
Else
kids
needs
all
to go
over
on
the
the
place.
record before we end today?
Now for the people that think.
No, it's gonna be finished.
Okay, we're off the record. Back here at 10 o'clock.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So they were all doing their thing, passing a whole bunch of diseases around. Because didn't they?
Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna end this now because these people just talking now. They're just talking, so we're gonna bypass that part. What is Kobe crying for? Kobe just like, what is he crying for, y'all? Kobe crying. Kobe is crying down there, y'all. He is making a lot of noise. Hold on, trying to get the next one. Oh my God, Kobe, stop that noise, boy. Oh my God, Kobe. Hold on a second, let me see this one. Yeah, let's take a look at the original. Shannon's twin sister was not essayed. She testified that he tried, but she didn't allow him to touch her. Her father attempted to attack him and he was stopped by the deputies. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back and pull. Kobe making too much noise down there. Kobe getting on my nerve.
Hold on, y'all. All right, let's go get them in here.
This is case 2459617, the people of the state of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts. Charged with count 1, homicide, murder, first degree, premeditated. Count 2, child sexually abusive activity. Count 3, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. The habitual offender fourth defense notice set for exam today. Appearances?
Good morning, Your Honor. Tina Ripley on behalf of the people, P83688.
And good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Makepeace on behalf of the people, P82796.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. Neighborhood Defendant Services by Ken Riggins, P82125 on behalf of Mr. Jarvis Butts.
Good morning. Neighborhood Defender Service by Cheryl Quick, P83973, also on behalf of Jarvis Butts, the Lauren Butler.
P88126.
And Mr. Butts, state your full name. You can have a seat. Any preliminary matters before we continue testimony?
No, Judge, just the continued order of mutual seat frustration because we are live as well.
Okay.
Agreed.
If there's anyone on YouTube or watching this live stream or anyone in the courtroom who may testify or is a witness on this case, you must exit the courtroom. That includes the
YouTubers, you can't watch it if you are on the
At
case,
this
the
time,
witness
people
on the
call
case.
Tashiana Davis.
You cannot watch this if you are a witness for the state or for the defense. Get off the YouTube. Let me stop. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. This is old. Did I watch the prior hearings? I watched some of this one, I think. I watched the other one. I've been watching different things.
Order your name right here, and then I'll swear you in.
I think I watched this one already, y'all. That's Roxy in the white shirt, you said? White shirt? I don't see Roxy.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, no truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. Watch your step. And once you get situated, you can hold that whole microphone.
I think I seen. Did I see this one? Didn't I play this one the other day?
Just tug it off it.
Who is this lady?
Yes.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Tashiana Davis.
And Ms. Davis, I want to ask you about someone by the name of Jarvis Butts. Do you know that person?
Yes,
And how do you know Mr. Butts?
he was my fiance.
And
Oh,
do you
that
see
yeah,
Mr.
I've
Butts
seen
in
this
the
one.
photo?
I've seen this one.
Could you point
She
to
was
and
the one
identify
that was
clothing that
in.
he's wearing?
She's right there with a green top on.
For the record, the
All
witness
the
has
ladies look
identified the
alike. You
defendant,
notice
Jarvis
that,
Butts, in this
y'all?
matter.
So reflect.
Thank you. And how long, you said he was
He doesn't have any
your
kids with him.
fiance.
Yes.
How long in total have you known Mr. Butts?
Been
4 years.
2019.
2019.
See,
2019?
he was messing with all of them
Yes.
at 2019.
And when did you become engaged?
2023.
And can you tell us a little bit about the nature of that relationship? Do you have any children with him? Things like that.
No children.
Okay. And would Mr. Butts sometimes stay over at your house?
Yes.
How often would that happen?
All the
Pretty
ladies
often.
look alike.
But we didn't live together.
Okay. I want to take your attention back to January of 2024 and February of 2024. Did there come a time when Jarvis Butts asked you to drive him to court?
Yes.
And when was that?
February 7th.
I
Of
seen
24?
this one, y'all. When
And
he
was there a
asked
time
us to
before that
turn
that you had
in.
to drive him to court?
Yes.
And when was that?
January, I think it was the 9th.
Okay.
It was in
I've
January.
seen this one. I don't
So
want to
you've
watch
at least
this
driven him
one.
to court twice?
Yes.
I've seen this one
And let's
already.
talk about the January
Can I
9th date
bypass
that you
it,
drove
y'all?
him. What was the reason he wasn't driving himself? Why were you
This
driving
one,
him?
Because he thought he was gonna have to turn himself in.
no, I'm gonna
again
bypass her, okay?
For another case, and then they rescheduled it.
Okay, so on the 9th, he was supposed to turn himself in, but didn't actually end up doing that.
Correct.
Okay. And then on the 7th, did he ask you to drive him to court again?
Yes.
And
Sorry, y'all, I've seen that one already. I think I've seen this guy too. Yeah, I've seen the detective, yeah. I've seen her before. She's the one who talks about the phone call. I seen that's the old lady who saw the shoe in the neighborhood. That's that one. I've seen these. I've seen this video. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next.
Just watch your step. And then you can pull that whole microphone off of the ledge once you sit down. It's easy for you.
okay, thank you.
I think I was up to this guy here. Hold on. I think it's this guy. I've seen all the other ones already. Sorry. I was up to that guy.
Oh,
You swear to tell the truth, no truth, and nothing but the truth.
yes, ma'am.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes.
Could you state your name for the record, sir?
George Harris.
And just like that. Without breaking it.
You can put it, you can just take it off the ledge too. It's easy.
And what do you do currently for a living, sir?
I'm a school safety liaison.
And going back to January of 2024, where were you employed at that time?
Detroit Public Schools Police.
And what did you do for the Detroit Public Schools Police Department at that time?
I was a lieutenant.
And assigned to an investigative division or something else?
I was in charge of the Western Patrol Division and our intelligence unit.
Okay. And did that include, at least on the intelligence unit side, some investigatory roles?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And were you involved in the disappearance and homicide investigation into Tanaia Harris?
Yes, I was.
And how did you become involved in that, sir?
The initial report came in that she was missing. A detective was assigned to it. She liaisoned back to me that Tanaia had a social media account and had communicated through text now. So anytime there was a cyber-related nexus or anything having to do with cell phones or digital communications, I was the person who had handled it with the district for years.
And what is the reason you would handle the sort of cyber or internet portions of investigations?
I had the training and experience.
And as part of the investigation, did you do an initial search warrant to TextNow?
Yes.
Okay, and did you get an initial return for that?
Yes.
Okay, and were those from the dates of January 8th, 2024 to January 26th, 2024, if you remember?
That sounds
Sounds
correct.
about right?
Yes,
Okay. It didn't go back before January 8th at that time, correct?
that's correct.
Okay. I will come back to that in a second, but the initial agency investigating Tanaya's case, was that Detroit Public Schools Police Department?
That's correct.
Right, and when did that investigation begin?
January 9th, her grandmother reported her missing. One of our officers, Officer Wolf, I believe it was, went out to the school, took the report. Canvas was done. Detective Gardner was assigned to the case. And then from there, she liaisoned with me, and I started making my notifications and started working on it from the.
You said January 9th the report was made?
The 10th, I'm sorry.
The 10th, okay. So that's when the investigation began, and that's when you became notified of this case, correct?
Correct.
And did the investigation stay with the Detroit Public Schools Police Department for the entirety of until today?
No.
When was it transferred and to who was it transferred?
It was transferred to Sergeant Shannon Jones sometime I don't remember the exact date, but it was later in January, maybe early February.
Okay. So
Were we getting closer to that 30-day mark?
around a month?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the reason it was transferred to DPD?
There have been no sightings, nothing had been heard from her. At that point, the other agencies that I brought in, we ended up shipping it over once. We received some more calls from DPD. The commander of the 5th Precinct had called me, and we just got together with Detroit, my chief and I, and the deputy chief, and then they decided they were going to take it over because it appeared that she was not going to be recovered alive.
Okay. And in the course, to your knowledge of the initial investigation by the Detroit Public Schools Department, was there any activity from Tanaia on social media after January 9th?
Not from Tanaia, no.
Now, you said earlier that after it was transferred to the Detroit Police Department, did you receive a call regarding, from Sergeant Jones regarding a request to confirm an ID that was found, a school ID?
Yes.
Okay, and did you receive a copy of that picture of the ID to confirm it?
Yes.
Okay. And the picture that was sent to you, did you confirm that as Tanaia Harris, this grade 8 identification card? If you don't remember.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what grade she was in, but yeah, it was her identification card.
May I approach that?
Yes.
Approaching with what's already been admitted as Exhibit 40. Does that look similar to what you were asked to confirm?
Yes.
And that one you went into, did you go into the school system to confirm that that was Thanaia's ID?
Through an intermediary, but yes.
Okay. And in the bottom corner of one of that, it says grade 8, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes. And you had said earlier that you did an initial search warrant to text now to receive some messages, correct?
It started out as exigent circumstance request, but yes.
Okay. And may I approach again?
Yes.
I'm approaching with what's already been admitted as Exhibit 16. And if you could take a look at that, I'm handing you the last page of Exhibit 16. Does that look familiar to you, sir?
Yes.
And are those some of the messages that you got from the search warrant that you did to text them?
Yes.
And are there on that page that you're holding 3 highlighted ones on the bottom of that message or of that page?
Yes.
And the first highlighted one, is there a number associated with whether that it was sent or received from or to?
Yes.
And can you read that number for the court, please?
313-585-8719.
And was the first message that's highlighted there, was that a sent or received message?
It was a sent message.
Indicating that it came from the owner of the Text Now account, correct?
Correct.
And what does that message say?
Don't forget to be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving school. If you're not there, I will wait.
And to be clear, the owner of the account that you did a search warrant on, you believe to be Tanaia Harris, correct?
That is correct.
And then the second message down from that, second to last message on that page, is that a sent or received message?
It's a sent message.
And who is it sent to, the number?
313-585-8719.
And what does that message say?
Send okay if you send the message so I can delete your number.
And then the last message on that page first, is that a sent or received message to that account?
Received.
So the owner of the account would have received that message from someone else?
Yes.
And what's the number that sent the message to that Text Now account?
313-585-8719.
And what is that message?
Okay.
And what are the dates of those messages?
January 9th, 2024.
And when the owner of that account received that last message of okay, what date and time did she receive that on?
January 9th, 2024 at 14:23:10 UTC.
And the UTC would be 4 hours ahead at that time from the local time?
Correct.
Okay. And so that would have been at 10 a.m. or so?
That would have been 9:23
a.m.
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Okay, Ross?
Is it, Sergeant Harris? I'm sorry.
It was Lieutenant
Was
Harris.
Lieutenant, I'm sorry. I want to get that right. So, did you learn about this case through Detective Gardner? You learned about it from somewhere from the school, or how did it land on your desk? Can you?
So the grandmother went to the school called Officer Wolf, who works that area. And then whenever we have a missing student, we always dispatch a detective.
Okay, so it was Officer Wolf who was initially dispatched to the school.
Correct.
To do kind of an initial intake or interview,
Yes.
so to speak. Okay. And you're familiar that he did that?
Yes, he generated a report and did that. And then Detective Adele Gardner took over from there.
So when Officer Harris,
Wolf.
Wolf came back with his report, he passed, essentially, the report indicated what he did on the case and then handed it off to Detective Gardner.
No, Detective Gardner responded to the scene before he even came back and did the report.
Okay, so Detective Gardner was also involved in some of the things that Officer Wolf did.
Yes, the canvassing and
canvassing.
talking to people, yes.
Okay, that's what I was going to get to next. So you're familiar that at least Detective Gardner and Officer Wolf went out to the 3 Mile Drive location at Cornwall where the bus stop was and canvassed that area.
Not just them, but other officers, yes.
Others too, okay. Did any of the officers in DPS interview the teacher that was in Nazai's class that day?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, do you know who it was?
It would have been Detective Gardner.
And do you know if Detective Gardner has authored a report?
She would have case notes and interview statements of everybody she interviewed.
Okay. Did you follow up on anything that Officer Wolf did or that he left open in his report to do?
Not personally, I was just directing the efforts of Detective Gardner as whatever guidance she needed or help.
Okay. And one of the things that she requested of you was to do the search warrant for the text now?
The text now, Instagram.
Okay. And did you receive anything back from Instagram?
Yes, I received back to her Nazai's Instagram account information.
Okay. Now, ultimately, you came into possession of Nazai's laptop. Is that correct?
You talking about the one she uses at school?
Correct.
Yes.
And how did you take possession of that?
I sent Detective Gardner over to the school to pick it up.
It was at the school?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where at the school?
With all the rest of the laptops the kids use.
Okay, so they leave the laptops there every day at the end of the day?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if anybody from your unit or searched anywhere in the classroom, like lockers or areas where like coats and other things, bags, backpacks, lunch boxes, that kind of thing are stored?
That would have been standard to have to search where her locker was, her classroom, any of that stuff.
It would have been.
We would search the whole school to make sure that we found kids hiding in the school before they were going missing. So we would search the entire school, surrounding area, that route to and from school, things of that nature.
Can you say for sure that was done here, or just that should have been done because
That should have been done.
Okay, but you can't say for sure that you didn't do it.
I didn't go to the scene.
Okay. And you haven't read a report that indicated somebody else did it. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. Now you also were shown a picture of Nazai's 8th grade ID card from the school.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when that ID card was issued to Nazia?
Should have been the beginning of the school year.
Okay. So then it would have been end of August?
Yes. Or yeah, because we started before Labor Day again last year.
Okay. Other than the warrant and giving the laptop over to DPD, did you do anything else yourself in this case?
Yes.
What else?
Went back out to the school, interviewed some students, got some more information from some of Nazai's friends, different from what they had given earlier. Spoke with her little sister, spoke with the grandmother, got the release for her dental records, picked up the toothbrush, went out on a couple more canvases, things of that nature.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you passed this case off, or your department passed this case off to DPD at about the 30-day mark.
Somewhere around there. It may have been a little after, because right around the 30-day mark is when I would have went and got the toothbrush, so we still had it then. Because you have to make that update in the system when you get close to the 30-day mark.
So the case was opened on January 10th, correct?
Correct.
And was it the 13th of February that you gave the laptop to the Detroit police? Do you recall?
That sounds about right, around Valentine's Day.
Okay. And that would have been about the last thing that you did at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And that's right around a 30-day window, fair
Yeah,
to say?
a little bit past at that point.
Okay. Now is that 30-day window, is that kind of a standard protocol, or is there something that kind of where your jurisdiction kind of expires and you pass it on to a different agency?
I would say no, because I had been with the school police since 2011, and this was the first missing we hadn't recovered within a couple of days. So normally we would, continue on with our cases. But once it got to that point, once we suspect, it could be a possible homicide, then the jurisdiction goes back to Detroit. So that's kind of how we went.
Would it be fair to say that once you had kind of exhausted your tools,
I guess, yeah, that's one way to look at it.
could you hand it off to a different agency before 30 days? Could you decide within 2 weeks, we aren't coming up with any leads, we should give this to a different agency for more assistance?
We could, yes.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Very briefly, Judge. Ms. Quick asked you about recovering a laptop. That was done in this case. Ms. Aya's laptop was recovered, correct?
Yes.
And did you or did someone else or DPS recover a tablet that belonged to Ms. Aya as well?
Yes.
Okay, where was that recovered from? The school or somewhere else?
From the grandmother.
From the grandmother?
Yes.
And that would be Annette Harris?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Okay, you are done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to hear the grandma of people like that. I want to hear the grandmother. When do the grandmother and the aunt come up? That's who I want to hear from.
Maybe we have one more, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, people would call Detective Carlisi of the Detroit Police Department.
I want to hear.
At that time, to recover video from a surveillance unit that's showing a girl walking down the street.
Okay. And are you familiar with the area that address is in, or what the corner and cross streets are?
Yes.
And what are the corner and cross streets right next to that address?
That is Bedford and Cornwall.
Okay. And then is the street 3 Mile Drive nearby this location?
That's 1 block east of Bedford.
And did you have a chance to observe the videos or some of the videos that you recovered earlier today?
Yes.
And do those fairly and accurately depict the videos that you extracted from this system?
Yeah, that was a ring system. Yes, sir.
Okay. And at this time, Judge, I would move to admit people's proposed exhibits 49, 50, and 51.
Any objection?
No objection.
They will be admitted.
And permission to publish.
Yes.
And playing exhibit, oh, playing exhibit 49 from the beginning. And stopping the video at 9 seconds in. I'm not going to ask you to narrate what we're seeing in the video. I just want to lay some groundwork as to what we're looking at. Did you see that bus go by on the right side of the screen?
Correct.
And where is that bus approximately stopping right now on the screen?
That's stopping right approximately at 3 Mile Drive.
And Cornwall?
Cornwall.
Okay. And we're looking at Bedford from this view.
Yeah, we're looking eastbound from the house of 4803 towards down Cornwall towards 3 Mile Drive.
Okay. Continuing playing from 9 seconds. And moving to exhibit 50 and playing from the beginning. And moving now to exhibit 51. And stopping at 6 seconds into the video. Detective, is there a timestamp on this video that you can see or that you know of?
There is a timestamp.
Can you see it on the screen right now?
No, sir.
And is it being obscured by the zoom thing in the bottom right corner?
Correct.
Very good.
Are you okay if I just read what happened?
Yeah, that's where Detective, when you went to extract this, is there something you do or a process that you follow to calibrate the time system on the system you're extracting the video from?
Correct. We do a time calibration to the world clock.
Okay, and what is the world clock?
So basically, the world clock is the anatomical clock that we go by from the Navy clock. So looking at the anatomical clock or the world clock to the video system, we calibrate how if it's zero, which this one was, or if it was short or fast.
Okay. So you would be able to tell if the time system that is on the video is 10 seconds fast, 2 hours fast, or slow?
Slow, correct.
And what was the result again for this video?
Again, this was zero to the world clock, so it was on time.
Okay. And
Okay, guys, we got a few more minutes of this, and then we're gonna take a stop on this.
I'm not gonna look into that. Perfect. May I approach the witness, Judge?
Yeah.
Detective, can you read, it might be easier on the laptop, what the time is in the bottom right corner on the screen right now?
Once it's still covered up. So that time is, and I don't have my glasses, it is January 9th, 2024. I believe it's 14:54 and some seconds.
And 14:54 would be around
2:54 p.m. on the 9th of January.
And all of these videos have that timestamp?
Correct.
And playing the video now from 33 seconds. I have nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Real quick. So in that video, are you familiar with that area that's depicted in the video?
Correct.
Okay, so you said that that was a view from the camera on a house viewing Bedford going east. Is that correct?
Bedford runs north and south. Cornwall runs east and west. So it's shooting eastbound down Cornwall, basically.
Okay, but the view, your view is is looking towards the east.
Correct.
Okay, and so in Bedford, you said is a north-south street.
Correct.
And so the person walking down Bedford would be going towards the north.
Yes, ma'am. Towards East
Harper?
Warren.
Or is it Warren or is it Harper?
That's Warren.
Warren. Okay.
Well, Warren, then Harper. That's all going in that direction.
Okay. Nothing else, thanks.
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay, you're all done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
I think that might be.
For today. Okay. And tomorrow, how many witnesses do you anticipate having tomorrow?
That's the million. Six, Judge.
Okay. Yeah. Do you all want to start at 9 o'clock instead of 10? Or keep it at 10 o'clock?
I would say probably keep it at 10 o'clock just because we
Oh, we already have subpoenas out.
subpoenas out.
Okay. All right. There are a few cases on the docket, some domestic violence cases that I don't think will interfere, but the complete afternoon also is blocked off for this case. So we'll figure it out. Anything else for the record?
Not for the people.
Nothing. Thank you.
Off the record.
All right, y'all. This is a great time to stop. And we shall continue this on later or tomorrow, but I have some other things I need to take care of as far as other cases that I have that I need to do updates on. But this is deep, y'all. This is deep. This is pretty deep, and I'm glad you guys are here to help me to catch up. I will see you guys later. I do have some update with the 4 PF as well as Gregory King. Some of the Fulton County cases that I've been following. So I will see you guys in a few. Give me a moment and then I'll get myself together. I'll check you guys later. Have a great one. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you for watching that infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click